In the far reaches of the galaxy, where even the bravest traders feared to fly, a strange signal appeared. It pulsed once, then again, a single word, repeated in a language long forgotten by most of the galaxy: home. The salvage ship Whisper Song drifted through black space like a quiet ghost. Its crew, a mix of alien scavengers, had seen many strange things: abandoned colonies, silent warships, even drifting dead gods turned to stone. But this was different. Captain Threx stood at the main console, his 3 eyes narrowed at the signal dancing on the screen. "It's coming from the void," said Juno, the ship's pilot, her voice flat. "Sector 9. See, that's part of the dead zone." Everyone fell silent. "Plot a course," Threx said. Juno didn't move. "Captain, that area isn't even marked. No stars, no coordinates. The maps just skip it," said Plot. "A course." Juno hesitated, then tapped at the console. The nav screen flickered and cracked. Literally cracked. Glass shattered as sparks jumped across the panel.
Ow.
Smoke filled the air. "System just tried to stop me," Juno whispered, staring at her hands like it didn't want me to go. Threx's voice was quiet now. "Shut off all safety protocols. Go manual, we fly blind." There was a long silence before anyone moved. Finally, Juno reached over and flipped the switch. The lights dimmed. The ship began to drift forward, toward the signal, toward the dead zone. 3 hours later, Whisper Song entered the region. It was wrong. That was the only word they could use. There were no stars, no light. It was like falling into a deep, black ocean. The ship's sensors stopped working. The radar spun uselessly. The AI refused to speak. It said only one thing: area not recognized, no life expected. Turn back. Then it powered itself. "Off! We're alone now," muttered Locke, the weapons engineer. "No," Juno whispered. "We're not." Outside, something massive floated in the dark. A station. It was ancient, rusted, broken, yet somehow still alive. Strange blue lights pulsed along its edges like a heartbeat. Threx leaned in close to the viewing screen. "That's human design," he said. "Impossible," said Locke. "Humans are a myth, a legend. No one has seen one in over 10,000 cycles." Still, Threx said, eyes wide, "That's their work." They approached the station carefully. It had no name, no ID. But as they drew near, a hatch opened. No transmission, no signal, just a single, cold invitation. They docked. Juno and Locke went in first, armed with plasma rifles. Threx followed, keeping close. The inside was worse than the outside. Dark. Metal walls. Dust that floated in the air like ash. Everything was quiet. Too quiet. Their boots echoed on the floor. Lights flickered. Some screens still worked, flashing strange symbols. "What is this place?" Juno asked. "Command center, maybe?" said Locke. Then they saw the bodies, dozens of them, maybe more. Old skeletons dried up in suits of black armor. Small, thin, human, Threx crouched near one. Its helmet was shattered. The skull stared up at him with hollow eyes. "They died here," he said softly. "All of them." But then Locke pointed. "Not all." In the dust, next to a fresh trail of footprints, were drops of something red dot, blood dot still wet. "Something's alive," Locke said. Juno lifted her rifle. "Then why don't our scanners show anything?" Threx didn't answer. He walked forward. Following the prints, the hallway ahead was long and curved, like a great circle. As they walked, the walls changed. Strange writing began to glow. Not in any known language, but it felt familiar. The walls hummed softly, like a low song, almost. Beneath hearing then came the whisper, "Turn back." It wasn't from the speakers, it was inside their heads. Juno stopped. I just heard." "I heard it too," Threx said, his voice tight. Locke looked around. "There's something watching us." They reached a door. Unlike the others, this one was clean. No dust, no decay. Just a single glowing word on the surface. Home. It slid open without a sound. Inside was a massive chamber at the center. Floating in a blue field was a globe, a planet, blue oceans, green land, white clouds, single moon. It was Earth. Juno's breath caught. It's real, she whispered. Threx nodded, and it's still alive. Suddenly the room shook. A deep sound echoed through the station. Not mechanical. Not natural. It was a voice. Deep, cold, and human. You are not welcome. The door slammed shut behind them. Alarms flashed. The room dimmed to red. Something powered up beneath the floor. Then the station moved. Outside, the whisper song was being pulled into a docking clamp. Hard locks slammed the door control. We're trapped. Juno raised her rifle. What the hell's happening? From the shadows, something stepped forward. It was human-shaped, but tall, thin, almost not real. Its skin flickered like static. Its eyes glowed white. You should not have come, it said. They warned you. Threx stared at it. What are you? I'm the memory of Earth, it said. The last guardian. You're human, Juno asked. I was. The being raised a hand. The room went still. Then, in the air, images appeared. Wars, stars exploding, alien fleets dying in silence. Human ships massive and black burning, everything in their path. One image froze. It showed a council of alien races, terrified, begging. A single human stood before them. You will erase our existence from your maps, he said. You will not speak our name if you enter our space again. We will return. Then the images faded. You broke the pact, the memory said. We didn't know Threx said, stepping forward. We found a signal. We followed it. It was not meant for you. Then who? The being's eyes dimmed. Then it said one final thing. They are waking up. The lights died. The room fell into darkness, and the memory was gone. Back aboard Whisper Song, the crew panicked. The docking clamps wouldn't release. The station was pulling them deeper. Below, a huge hangar opened. Inside were ships ancient, silent, sleeping human ships, dark steel, razor shapes. Power humming inside, and then one lit up. Its engines flared. Its eyes opened. Yestra's blood, Juno whispered. They're still here. The Whisper Song shook violently as it was drawn inside. From the cockpit, Threx watched as dozens more ships powered up. Some small, some city-sized all deadly. Then a new signal filled the screens. A transmission from Earth. One word. No. In every language ever spoken, return. The hangar was massive. The Whisper Song floated inside like a toy boat drifting into the mouth of a great sea creature. All around them were ancient human ships, sleeping cold, but not dead. Lights blinked on, one by one, slow, steady. Watching Captain Threx stood at the window, silent. His fingers tightened on the rail. None of the crew spoke, not Juno, not Locke. Even the AI stayed quiet. Then a voice crackled through the comms, broken, warped, ... complete. Welcome back. It sounded almost human, but wrong. Too flat. Too empty. Like something trying to sound like a person and failing. Threx turned to Juno. Do we still have engine control? She shook her head. No, they've locked us in. Can we shut the systems down manually? Maybe, she said. But that means someone has to go inside the station again. Locke groaned. Back into the haunted death maze? No thanks. Don't have a choice, Threx said. If we stay here, whatever's waking up might decide we're not just visitors. He didn't finish the sentence. They all knew what he meant. Juno and Locke suited up again. This time they brought heavier weapons, plasma cutters, backup batteries. Threx stayed on the ship, monitoring through the external cams. The moment they stepped out of the airlock, the atmosphere shifted. The station was darker now, colder. The lights had changed red, pulsing like a heartbeat. Juno led the way with her rifle raised. Let's find the power core and shut this place down. Yeah, Locke muttered. Easy. Just walk into the heart of a cursed human tomb and flip a switch. As they moved deeper, they passed more of those. Strange glowing symbols. Some of the symbols looked newer, as if someone had written them recently. Fresh light, fresh marks. Wait, Juno said, stopping. These weren't here last time. She touched the wall. It was warm. Something had been here, very recently. They turned a corner and stopped. A body lay on the floor. Not bones. Not ancient. Fresh, its skin was pale gray, stretched over sharp bones. Its eyes were empty holes, and its mouth was open wide in a frozen scream. What the hell is that? Locke whispered. It's not one of us, Juno said. Not one of the crew. The corpse had marks on its face, deep cuts shaped like letters. Human letters burned into the skin. It said, thief. Shivered. Whatever's in here, it judges. Suddenly, a screech echoed through the hallway. High, sharp, not, mechanical, alive. Juno and Locke raised their weapons. Then came the running fast, barefoot, echoing down the hall. But when they turned to look, nothing, just shadows and a whisper. Go. Back. Back on Whisper Song, Threx's screen glitched. The cams went black one by one, then static. Then a new feed appeared. It was inside the station, but not any part. They'd seen a white room, clean empty. At the center was a chair. Someone was sitting in it, a man. A human. Eyes closed, breathing alive. But then, he opened his eyes and looked directly into the camera. Captain Threx, the man said, his voice calm. Why are you here? Threx froze. How do you know my name? He asked out loud. The man smiled. I know all of you. I've been watching. Since you entered. Threx leaned closer. Are you the one sending the signal? No, the man said. That wasn't for you. Then for who? The smile faded. You need to leave now, before it wakes up fully. What is it? Threx asked, but the feed cut out. The cams went dead. Only a single message remained on screen. You shouldn't be here. Juno and Locke found the power core room. It was huge. A sphere of glowing energy floated at the center, surrounded by humming rings and suspended wires. It looked like it was breathing alive. Juno approached the controls. I think I can shut it down, she said. Temporarily, at least. Do it fast, Locke whispered. I don't like how the walls are moving. She looked. He was right. Metal was rippling, like it was alive. Then came the footsteps, slow, heavy, from the other end of the chamber. Something entered. It was tall, covered in black armor, but twisted. Its arms were long. Its hands were blades. It had no face. Only a glowing red slit where the mouth should be. It didn't speak. It charged. Juno Dovelock fired blast after blast, but the thing didn't slow. It moved too fast, too smooth, like liquid metal with bones. Juno rolled behind the console, pulled a cable, slammed her hand on the override switch. The core dimmed. The station shook. The lights flickered, and the creature stopped mid-dash charge. It froze. Then its body began to crack. Sound like breaking glass echoed through the room, and the creature screamed. It fell to the floor and shattered like glass. Gone. Juno lay on the floor, panting. We need to leave, she said. Locke helped her up. No argument here. They ran back. On the Whisper Song, systems came back online. Engines responded. The AI rebooted. Threx didn't wait. Pull them in, he barked. Full power. Get us out of this nightmare. The ship shook as it disengaged from the docking clamps. Juno and Locke jumped through the airlock, just as the bay doors began to close behind them. The human ships inside the hangar powered down again. Their lights dimmed. Everything returned to silence, as if nothing had happened. Hours later, the Whisper Song drifted away from the station, deep into the dead zone. Still in the unmarked space? No stars, no signals. Just blackness. Then the message came not over comms, not through sound, but burned into every screen, every wall, every thought. You are not alone. Something still lives here. Turn back. For 3 full cycles, the whisper song drifted in black space. No stars, no exit. The AI couldn't plot a course. All navigation systems still showed nothing, as if they were outside the galaxy. Captain Threx stared at the blank screen. We need to find a way out, assuming there is one, Juno said quietly. Locke stood at the scanner terminal. There's something moving out there. Threx turned. Another ship, Locke replied. A wreck. Big one. No power, no lights. Human. Worse, Locke said. Alien, ancient. Threx gave a slow nod. We investigate. The wreck drifted silently, half buried in floating debris. It was massive, easily the size of a city. Strange glyphs covered its hull, broken and scorched. The nameplate in 3 languages was barely readable. Arc Cartographer 7 Galactic Mapping Fleet, do not enter human SPE Juno. Read it aloud. A map ship. They were trying to chart. This place, Threx muttered. Guess it didn't go well. They docked cautiously. The interior was dark and silent. Dead screens, empty halls, scattered tools and broken. Drones, but no bodies. Until they reached the bridge, then they found them. Hundreds of bodies mummified, sitting in their chairs. All facing forward, all with eyes wide open, frozen in terror. They died fast, Locke whispered. No, Threx said, kneeling beside one. They didn't. He pointed to the logs burned into their consoles, carved by hand. The crew had been writing warnings. Don't chart tit, sees you when you map. They are not gone. Then, at the center console, a final message was carved deep into the steel. The moment we drew Earth on the map, they came. Juno accessed the main data core. It was barely working, but she found a few recovered logs video. Files from the final moments. One showed the mapping crew gathered around the star map. They had just finished reconstructing the Sol system Earth, Mars, Jupiter. Then a small red light blinked on the map. One of the crew members laughed. Must be a reflection. Then the red light grew. It pulsed, then screamed. Everyone in the video clutched their heads. Blood ran from their ears and noses. The camera cut to static. Another log appeared. The ship shaking, alarms blaring, a voice yelling. They're here. Burn the maps. Burn the data. Do not. Then it cut. The last file was strange. A slow image of space. A distant planet Earth, but wrong. The clouds moved backward. The oceans boiled. And in the sky above it, something massive floated. A black shape, just like a human face made of smoke, staring back. Juno pulled out of the data core, breathing hard. What was that? I think Threx said slowly. The humans left something behind. Something that punishes anyone who tries to remember them. Locke was pale. We need to get out of this zone. Threx nodded. Then we need a map. A real one. From someone who survived. There is one last message, Juno said. A distress beacon. Very old, buried deep, but it's still active. Threx leaned in. Where is it? Juno looked up. Returned to the whisper song and began tracing the old signal. It wasn't strong, it's barely there, but it led them through the dark, past floating ruins, past drifting monuments that had no names. They passed one massive wreck shaped like a bird's skull. Its wings were torn, its bones made of black stone. No one spoke of it. Eventually, they found the source, a small escape pod, drifting alone. Its metal was dented, scorched, ancient, but somehow still powered. They brought it aboard. Inside was a cryo chamber. One occupant, not human. An alien, thin, weak, but alive. Its body twitched as the thawing cycle began. Juno read the markings on the pod. Cartography Ship 1, First Mapping Fleet. Locke stepped back. That's over 8,000 years old. The cryochamber hissed. The alien opened its eyes, then screamed. A deep, painful scream, like its soul was tearing in half. Threx leaned forward. "What did you see?" he asked. The alien shook violently. Its eyes rolled back. Then it spoke one word, Earth, and died. Hours passed. The pod held more than just the alien. There was a box at the bottom, old metal, sealed with strange keys. Juno cracked it open carefully. Inside was a hard crystal drive, labeled The Final Coordinates. Threx stared at it. "This is it," he whispered. "A map to Earth." "Don't plug it in," Juno said quickly. "You saw what happened to the last ones." "We have no choice," Threx said. They inserted the drive. The screen blinked, then lit up. A 3D map of the galaxy. Thousands of stars. A slowly pulsing red appeared in the void Earth. But then, something strange happened. The star map began to fade. Stars flickered. Systems turned gray. Black veins spread across the map. The screen screamed, not with sound, but with pressure. Pain. Memory. Everyone clutched their heads. The drive melted. Sparks flew. The lights went out. The AI spoke softly. "ERROR. Galactic map corrupted. Unknown force detected. Distance to Sol system, 0.3 light years." Juno gasped. "We're that close?" Threx stood up, holding his head. Then the ship's windows darkened. Outside, a space shimmered. A shape emerged. Round, blue, with white clouds swirling across it. A single gray moon hanging above Earth. They had arrived, but something was wrong. Earth's orbit was surrounded by machines, not satellites, ships, human ships, sleeping, waiting. Then the signal came through. Every console, every screen, every wall, "You found us." The whisper song began to shake. The Earth ships powered up, one by one. A wall of silence pressed against the crew. Then the AI whispered, "Incoming signal. Source, human planet. Message begins." The screen went dark. A single human appeared. His eyes glowed white. He said only, "You should not be here. Turn back, or join the others who tried to remember." The feed cut. The ship whisper song hovered above Earth. Blue oceans, green land, peaceful skies. But there was no comfort. Around the planet floated machines, thousands of them, huge, silent, perfectly still. They weren't moving. They were watching. And as soon as the crew accessed the ancient coordinates, ... they began to wake up. The first machine turned. Slowly, it looked like a black moon with glowing veins, smooth and round, not lifeless. It had no windows, no weapons, just a single large red eye on its front. The eye opened. Juno gripped her chair. "That's not a satellite." Locke backed away from the screen. "That's a sentinel, a guardian unit. That thing is older than most empires." The sentinel turned fully toward Whisper Song, then it spoke. "You have entered restricted human territory." Its voice was calm, empty, cold. "Return to known space, or be judged." "Judged," Locke shouted. "We didn't even attack anything." But the ship's alarms began to blare. "A lock-on signal, Captain," Juno said. "That thing's targeting us?" Threx stood still, eyes fixed on the planet below. "Hold position," he said. "Let it finish." Juno looked at him like he'd gone mad. "Let it kill us." "No," Threx said. "It's waiting." The red eye glowed brighter. The sentinel scanned the whisper song. The ship's panels lit up as data flooded in. Crew bioforms, DNA profiles, ship logs, all analyzed in seconds. Then, silence. The red light faded. The sentinel turned away. Passage allowed. "You are unarmed, and not of the old enemy." The locks released. The path to Earth opened. Juno exhaled. "We're still alive?" "Barely," Locke muttered. "What the hell is the old enemy?" Threx didn't answer. He pointed to the other side of the planet. Another machine was rising from the dark side of Earth. It was bigger than the others. A ring structure, slowly spinning, orbiting just above the surface. As they approached, they saw it had hundreds of arms. Each arm held a sleeping vessel, human ships, sharp and silent. The ring blinked. A signal came through. "Welcome to Earth Defense Gate, please, Doc." "One at a time, Doc," Juno asked. "Why would we dock there?" Then a whisper filled their ship, but not through speakers, inside their minds. "If you wish to understand, come closer." The crew looked at each other. Threx nodded. "We go." The docking was smooth, too smooth. Something controlled the whisper song, directly guiding it like a toy into a glowing chamber inside the ring station. Everything felt empty, no heat signatures, no life signs. But when they entered the station, the lights were on. The walls were clean, fresh. It didn't feel like it had been abandoned for thousands of years. It felt ready, waiting inside the station. They found long halls filled with statues, not of humans, of ships, human warships, each one labeled, detailed with names etched in steel. Vindicator-class Planetbreaker, Stormvile-class Starcore Burner, Eidolon-class Reality Breacher. Locke read the names out loud. "What kind of weapons are these?" "It's nothing we've ever seen," Threx said. At the end of the hall, a final statue stood alone. Man in black armor, one hand raised, eyes glowing white. At his feet was a plaque. "Commander Arkansas, the last general of Earth." Juno touched the armor. It was cold, heavy, real. Suddenly, the eyes of the statue glowed. A voice filled the room. "You are in the Hall of Memory. You walk where only the enemies of time dared to tread. You wish to know why human space is unmarked. It's because we erased ourselves." A door slid open behind them. Inside was a viewing room, single round table, and in the center, a projection device. It activated automatically. Stars filled the space above the table, the galaxy. Then a red section lit up, the human core worlds. The crew stared. There were thousands of systems. Not one had appeared on any current chart. Juno gasped. This was a civilization the size of a galactic quadrant. The map zoomed out, then glit. The stars of the human core worlds began to blink out one by one. Then came a black wave, like ink. It spread from the center of the map, swallowing stars. Entire sectors vanished. The voice spoke again. "It was not an enemy fleet, not a war, not a rebellion. It was something we made. A mistake. We buried." Another projection appeared. A research lab. Humans in long coats working around a strange machine. A crystal sphere floated in the middle, pulsing with bright white energy. Words appeared. Singularity, Seed, Earth, Origin Project. The crew watched in silence. The humans were excited, celebrating. Then the sphere pulsed once. The screen cracked. The next frame showed dead bodies on the floor. Another showed an entire planet, breaking in half. Then, emergency lockdown initiated. All human space hidden. Galactic agreement signed. Threx read it aloud. "They didn't just hide. They made a deal with the galaxy," Juno whispered, "to stay forgotten." Locke stepped back. "We broke that deal." Suddenly, the projection went dark, all around them. The lights turned red. A new voice echoed, different now, deeper. "You brought attention to what must remain silent. Your presence has awakened guardians across the veil." The ring station began to tremble. From outside, the whisper song sent a signal. Dozens of new ships had appeared in orbit. Some human. Not, but all active. Threx turned to run. "We have to leave now." But the door didn't open. Instead, a figure stood in it. A man, human, real. His face was scarred. His eyes glowed white. He wore the same armor as the statue. He looked at them and spoke. "I am Arkansas. I died 10,000 years ago. I remain only because Earth wills it. You have disturbed the lock. Now, the thing we buried may come again." The dead man spoke. He stood tall in the doorway, armored and glowing. His voice echoed not just through the room, but into their minds. "I am Arkansas. I died long ago. But the Earth remembers me, so I remain. Captain Threx took a step back. His heart pounded. You're a memory? He asked. A projection, Arkin said. But I'm more than that. I am a message. Warning. Juno raised her rifle, but it powered down in her hands. I wouldn't do that, Arkin said calmly. You're not prisoners. But you are inside the seal. Locke whispered. What seal? Arkin looked up, and behind him a massive vault door appeared. It began to open. Inside, there was no treasure, no weapons, only a massive hole in reality. Black pulsing, unstable. This, Arkin said, is the thing we made. The thing we tried to kill. The experiment that broke the stars. Main story. They entered the chamber slowly. The walls were lined with scorched writing. Human text, alien glyphs, and strange mathematical symbols, all glowing dimly. In the center floated a sphere. But not like the earlier projections. This one was broken, cracked down the center, leaking black mist. Juno felt sick just looking at it. What is that? The singularity seed, Arkin said. Our greatest invention and our greatest failure. Threx stepped closer. You said it killed the stars? No, Arkin said. It killed the rules. 10,000 years ago, Earth's last scientific age flashback. The humans had grown too powerful. They had bent gravity, crushed time, built ships that flew between galaxies in moments, but they wanted more. So a group of scientists began the Earth Origin Project. They wanted to create a device that would give them complete control over space-time, not just to move through it, but to rewrite it. They called it the Singularity Seed, a black crystal grown in the center of Earth's core, fed with antimatter, balanced by a quantum lattice net. It worked at first. The humans used it to create artificial dimensions, faster than light tunnels, even impossible elements. But then, something looked back, something inside the seed, something that had never existed. Before Anne should never have been born. Back in the present, Locke stared at the cracked seed. So it's alive. No, Arkin said. Not truly. It thinks it feeds. On energy, on thought, on memory. It escaped containment. It began spreading, not physically but informationally. Like a virus? Like a story? Arkin said. One that infects galaxies. The more you know, the more it knows you. Juno stepped back, horrified. Then why are you showing us this? Because it's waking again, Arkin said. And someone else has begun mapping. Threx blinked. Another crew? Akon said. Khan said. A machine. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the galaxy, a merchant ship from the Corellan, its empire scanned the black void near the edge of charted space. Their cartographer AI sent a probe. It mapped something, a faint star, blue planet. The name appeared in its database. Earth status classified, forbidden. The probe sent back the data, just a simple signal, but it was enough. The data touched the edge of known space, and the black wave awoke, back on Earth. Alarms echoed through the vault chamber. Red lights flared. Unsealed data detected, the AI screamed. External mapping event confirmed. Archon's face darkened. It's too late. The singularity seed pulsed. Twice, then again, the mist leaking from its crack began to move fast. Stretching across the floor like a shadow searching for warmth. Run, Khan said. They turned and bolted from the chamber. Outside, the ring station groaned. Ships powered up around. Earth, not just a few. Thousands silent fleets of old human vessels now. Awake. Threx watched in awe as one of them turned toward the sun. A beam of golden light shot from its hull. For a moment, the Whisper Song saw the impossible. The ship bent sunlight, pulled it, folded it, then stored it inside its engine. Those ships, Juno breathed. They eat stars. Arkin's voice returned, loud and cold. This was our last defense. To wake only if the seed stirred again. But it is stirring. The story is spreading. Others will come. Empires will notice. The seed will. Feed, you need to carry the message. Threx asked. What message? Do not speak of Earth? Do not draw its name? Do not mark it on your charts? Or it will come for you too. Inside the vault, the seed cracked fully. A wave of pressure knocked the station off balance. The walls bent. Time skipped for a second. Juno saw herself standing outside her own body. Locke screamed. Then everything snapped back. The station's systems flickered. The seed glowed. Red, then white, then black. A countdown appeared on every screen. Containment breach in 1 hour. The human fleets began moving. Some launched into deep space. Others flew toward the edge of the forbidden zone. They weren't going to fight something. They were going to seal it in again. But this time would cost more. Maybe even Earth itself. Arkin stood beside the Whisper Song's airlock as the crew prepared to leave. You need to go, he said. Carry the warning to the outer systems. Tell them to forget. What about Earth? Threx asked. Earth will do what it has always done, Arkin said. Stand between the galaxy and the darkness it accidentally made. Then he smiled sadly. The price of our knowledge is your survival. They had seen the seed crack. They had seen the ghost of Arkin's soul. They had watched entire human fleets awaken. But now, as Whisper Song prepared to flee Earth orbit, something far older, far more terrifying called out. It didn't speak with. Words it pulled, dragged, demanded. One final voice. The last true voice of Earth Main. Dory. The Whisper Song shook violently as the ship's engines strained to escape Earth's gravity. Behind them, the black mass around the cracked singularity seed pulsed like a dying star. Juno gripped the console. We're not breaking orbit, Locke shouted from engineering. Something's holding us back. Captain Threx turned slowly to the viewport. There, in front of the ship, stood a figure outside, in space, on nothing, but standing perfectly still. It was a man, human, no suit. No protection, just black robes. Eyes glowing with starlight, and he was looking right at them. The ship's systems went dead. No sound, no lights, only that voice, inside every mind. I am Elias Rowe. I was the last human before the seed took the others. You woke me. The figure raised one hand. The crew felt their breath vanish. Time slowed, then stopped. Suddenly, the Whisper Song was no longer in orbit. They were somewhere else. A black room. No walls. No floor, just floating in darkness, with Elias standing across. From them he looked young, pale. His voice was soft. I've been dreaming for 10,000 years, he said, and I remember everything. Threx stepped forward. What is this place? A memory, Elias said. A shard of what Earth was. Before the great silence, Juno whispered, Are you alive? I was, he said. Now I am all. That remains of Earth's soul. Closed his eyes, then the visions began. Flashes of history. Humans standing over collapsed alien empires. The seed glowing in its original lab. Children being taught to forget the stars. Entire civilizations erasing. Their charts at gunpoint. And in the center of it all, Elias, watching, remembering, bleeding. Bleeding double quotes. I watched as the seed corrupted our minds, he said. It didn't want power. It wanted notice. The more the galaxy feared us, the more it grew. Threx asked. Then why did you hide Earth? Elias opened his glowing eyes. Because the seed fed on attention, on maps, on curiosity. The only way to starve it is to become a secret, to vanish, to turn Earth into a place no one dared speak of. Locke's voice trembled. But someone mapped it again. Elias nodded. And that spark was enough. The seed is waking again. But this time, Earth's defenses may not be enough. Threx stepped forward. Then what do we do? Elias looked at him, eyes full of stars and sorrow. You carry the last warning. You leave here and unknow us. Juno frowned. Unknow. Erase everything, Elias said. Your logs, your scans, even your memories, or it will follow. The room darkened further. Elias turned away. The humans who stayed, are gone now, he said. Some burned with the seed. Some became part of the walls. Only I remain. A ghost, a curse, a memory. Suddenly alarms blared in the real world. The whisper song jerked back into space. Earth was behind them, burning. Now a massive black crack had opened across the sky. The seed's influence had pierced the atmosphere. Human fleets surrounded it. Ships dived into the darkness like sparks vanishing into water. They weren't fighting to win. They were fighting to seal it one. Last time Elias appeared on the bridge. Standing beside the crew, he looked tired now. His voice cracked. Go. You must leave now. And when you do, remember this. Earth was never yours to find. It was ours to forget. The whisper song engines roared. This time nothing stopped them. The ship broke orbit. Stars returned to the VIEWSCREN, and Earth blew. Beautiful Earth faded into the black behind them. Juno looked back one last time, and in that moment, she felt it. A goodbye. From a world that no longer wanted to be remembered. The stars welcomed them back, for the first time in days. The crew of Whisper Song saw familiar constellations, known sectors. Normal space, but no one celebrated. No one smiled. They had seen Earth, and now had to do the one thing. No explorer, no captain. No living species ever wanted to do, forget main story. Captain Threx stood on the bridge staring at the slowly spinning map of the galaxy. A small red dot pulsed faintly near the center. Earth, he raised his hand, but couldn't bring himself to delete it. Juno entered the room quietly. You need to, she said. If we keep that data, it might follow us. Jaw tightened. Then let it. The galaxy deserves to know. Juno stepped beside him. He saw what happened to those who tried. The cartographers. The surveyors. The alien who died in our med bay. She touched the console. The red dot blinked faster, then dimmed. You saw the face in the seed, Captain, she whispered. You know what it wants? If it's remembered, it grows. Below deck, Locke worked on the backup cores. He pulled the navigation drives, one by one, smashing each with a small fusion hammer. His hands trembled with every strike. This wasn't just erasing coordinates. This was betraying discovery. Spent my whole life looking for hidden stars, Locke muttered. And now I have to forget the biggest one. He stared at the last drive, then Sidon crushed it. A bright blue spark flashed as the memory was lost forever in the AI core. The system flickered as the final fragments of Earth's data were erased. Images, charts, voice logs, all gone. But one file refused deletion. A message from Elias Roth, the last human. To those who remember Earth, I am sorry you were not meant to see. You were not meant to know. Please. The silence held. Then the file blinked and vanished. Whisper Song drifted silently outside the edge of the forbidden zone. The stars there looked normal, untunating. The crew sat together in the observation bay, watching as the black void slowly collapsed behind them. Ships, those ancient human fleets, moved across the zone, locking it down again. The seed, now fully cracked, was being sealed inside something larger. A dimensional wall. Energy beams curved space itself around it, forming a bubble of time-locked silence. It would never truly die, but it would sleep if left. Forgotten, Threx activated the emergency beacon. A simple message. Void zone. Do not enter. Systems uncharted. Biohazard threat. Avoid at all costs. No mention of Earth. No mention of humans. No mention of the seed. The galaxy would simply move on. 2 days later, Spursong docked at the Interstellar Archive Station in neutral space there. Captains and explorers gathered from across the spiral, arms curious, eager, hungry for discovery. But the crew said little. They uploaded only one public log. Mission aborted. No viable systems discovered. Charts lost in engine malfunction. No further data. Simple, clean, boring, privately. The station's director called Threx into her office. a tall insectoid with polished mandibles and 4 blinking eyes. "I find it hard to believe," she said, "that your ship spent 12 days in the deep zone and came back with nothing." Threx didn't blink. "That's correct. No alien relics? No. No lost colonies. Nothing. Nothing. Human." Threx looked her in the eye and said flatly, "No such thing." She let him go. She didn't press harder, but as he walked out, Threx saw her watching him closely. Not suspicious, but concerned. He knew what she was thinking. "What did you really find out there?" Back on Whisper Song, Juno stared at the empty Nav map. The place where Earth had been was now blank space, unmarked, just like the rest of the Forbidden Zone. And yet, she remembered. She still remembered everything. Locke entered the room. Holding a chip, "I saved one file," he said softly. Juno's eyes widened. "Why?" "Because someone has to remember," Locke said. "Just in case." He handed it to her. She looked down. It was unlabeled. It's untraceable. But she could feel what was inside Earth. The seed delayed everything. Juno didn't speak. She turned, opened the airlock, and threw the chip into space. Threx watched the stars blur past as the ship jumped to warp. He said nothing, but in the silence of his thoughts, one whisper echoed, "You found us once. You will find us again. And when you do, we will be watching." The galaxy turned without Earth, on every map, in every archive. In every star chart used by trillions of species, Earth didn't exist. And yet, Captain Threx still dreamed of it. The blue oceans, the black seed, the face of Elias Rowe. Every night, it came back. The last human, the ghost, the warning you were never supposed to remember. But something deep inside him refused to forget. Main story. 3 months had passed since the Whisper Song escaped the Forbidden Zone. Officially, their mission was logged as a failure. Unofficially, they were watched. Everywhere they docked. Strange eyes followed. Other captains, alien envoys, deep state diplomats, all asking the same quiet question. "Did you see something?" They always gave the same answer. "No." But Threx knew the truth. Someone else had found a clue. Someone had mapped the edge again, and this time, it wasn't just a scout, it was an empire. Meanwhile, Far Sector Varnies, an automated fleet from the Varnies, Dominion scanned a strange patch of dead space. They didn't care about old stories. They didn't believe in Earth. They only saw a gap, and in the center of the gap, a blinking anomaly, a gravity shift that made no sense. They launched probes. The probes returned. Mostly, except one. The last probe came back different, covered in glowing black dust. It transmitted one simple message before it melted. "Remember us." Back aboard Whisper Song, Juno paced the dim corridors. She hadn't slept in days. The dreams were louder. Now no more oceans, only the seed, and voices whispering numbers. Coordinates, names. Locke tried to joke about it. Maybe the seed's lonely, but no one laughed anymore. Then one morning, the AI delivered a private message to Threx. Encrypted. Old code. Human signature. No sender. Only a timestamp. 10,287 years since Event 0. One sentence. The lock is breaking. Attached was a data packet, coordinates, deep in the galactic halo. Nowhere near Earth, but pulsing with that same wrong energy. Juno stared at the numbers. "They're spreading," she said. "Not just protecting Earth anymore. The seed is reaching outward." Threx nodded slowly. "We either run, or we go back." They voted, all 3 of them, unanimous. Back, not to Earth, to the coordinates in the message. If the lock was breaking, someone had to see it. Someone had to understand. They arrived in a system with no name. A black dwarf star circled by crumbling moons, and there buried beneath a shattered moon was a vault, identical to the one under Earth, but not human built. Older? Much older. Locke scanned the markings. "This is pre-human, possibly precursors," Juno whispered. Did they build the first seed? Threx raised a hand. No, I think. They tried to contain it before humans ever existed. The vault opened inside. Silence and a body it was. Not a corpse, it was frozen time, a being half merged with the wall. Its body stretched across light and shadow. Its head turned slowly, as if time around it ticked only once. Every 1,000 years, then it moved. Its voice was raw, alien, but somehow understandable. You let it out. The humans hid it well, but curiosity always wins. Threx stepped forward. What are you? I am what your kind will become, it said. A guardian, a prisoner, a warning. It turned its glowing eyes toward them. The seed is not a weapon. It is a thought that should never have been thought. And now you carry it in your minds. Juno collapsed, blood from her ears. She saw Earth again, but this time burning not from war, from memory, people remembering the wrong things, saying the forbidden names, calling back something they thought was gone. Threx shouted. What do we do? The being said. Only one answer remains. You must forget. Not just maps, not just logs. Yeah. You must forget inside your own minds. Locke gasped. You mean wipe our memories? The being nodded once. Or the galaxy ends. Every species. Every star. Because if the seed grows strong enough, it will rewrite the laws. You will not just die. You will have never existed. The vault revealed a machine, a memory. Extractor, illegal, ancient, dangerous. It could pull out pieces of the mind memories, names, coordinates, and burn them forever. Juno trembled. If we do this, we'll forget everything. Threx looked at her. No, just one thing. He stared at the glowing red. Point on the map, Earth. They sat in the chairs the machine powered up. It asked one question, which memory shall be removed? Threx answered. Earth, humanity, Elias Rowe, the seed, all of it. The machine blinked and began. Hours later. Whispersong exited the vault. The crew awake, confused, their logs blank, their minds clean. A single log entry recorded by the AI. System anomaly investigated. No threat found. Returning to base. They didn't remember what they'd seen, or what they'd erased, but far away, in the heart of the Forbidden Zone. A tiny black crack blinked just once, then closed. For now, final epilogue scene, in a hidden archive, deep within an empire that no longer charts Earth. A child scrolls through forbidden star maps. Her eyes land on a blank spot. No name, no data. She tilts her head. Mama, what's this dark place? Why is there nothing there? Her mother stares, frowns. Something itches in her mind. A memory, a name lost, almost then gone. I don't know, she says. Probably nothing. The end.